Well, hey everybody, I'm John Retlin with another end of year video. And these are my 25 favorite wrestling moments of 2019. The 20 least favorite wrestling moments of 2019 video is up here if future me will remember to A, get some sleep, and B, add the videos in a timely manner. But my lack of sleep for current me and future me and my inability to communicate with future me aside, there have been some great wrestling moments from this year. Doesn't matter what wrestling promotion you watch, just the ones I watch in general. Raw, SmackDown, NXT, so you know all of WWE, because NXT, even though produced differently, is part of the WWE umbrella. NWA, AEW, New Japan have all produced a lot of great matches, moments, and everything, and really makes me happy to be a wrestling fan. If you guys like Ring of Honor, if you guys like Impact, if you guys like Stardom, CMLL, AAA, Canadian independents, Canadian wrestling companies, whatever, the UK scene, doesn't matter. Whatever wrestling you enjoy, it's great, and you're sharing your passion. And I thank you guys for tuning in for this. And if the moments I pick aren't on here that you would like to see, please, there is a comment box. Let me know what you guys have to say. And you can tell me I'm wrong if you want. But I want to be positive in this video, and there have been a lot of great moments. Like, if we go right to the indies, Without a Cause and Defy Northwest have been great for myself and the Durbinator. We will talk about those on a future podcast. When we do an end-of-year show and talk about our favorite, least favorite moments and just stuff that we've enjoyed. That is the tentative plan, at least. But speaking of the independents, let's get to number 25. And maybe this is a bit of a silly one, but again, I love seeing people succeed and seeing so many from the indie wrestling scene succeed on bigger stages. And even ones that I've seen, you know, from my first indie show, like grow just in these promotions alone. I'm just going to mention a few names, and do not misunderstand me. If any of you guys happen to be watching this and I don't mention your name, it's no disrespect at all. There's just so many cool people that I've talked to, that I've met, that are great. And I'm going to talk about other moments here, you know, from indie shows a little bit later. But referee Aubrey Edwards, super nice, super talented. It just has that game face on it. And I'm so happy to see her go from being on the independents, even though she does still referee for 3-2-1 Battle, and she is, working on AEW TV. And she's absolutely incredible. She's fucking great. And she's super nice, by the way. Darby Allin. Met Darby Allin, and he's great. So is Priscilla Kelly. But Darby, I'm so happy for his success, because, boy, that guy is really, really tough. Shane Swerve Strickland, or Isaiah Swerve Scott. He's great. Really nice guy as well. Thunder Rosa. Having met her at the first Without a Cause show last year. Seeing her on NWA TV. Great follow on social media, by the way. Alex Zane, who I saw on the first Without a Cause show last year, and then also on a recent show like earlier this year. And he's touring in Japan and is absolutely incredible in the ring. 4 Minutes of Heat, Eddie Pearl and Rock God Ricky Gibson. They're both great, an incredible tag team. So many others. Rebel Kell, she is fabulous in the ring as well. There are so many that I'm happy to see succeeding either in the indies or on the big stage. Like, so for the big stage would be those ones that I mentioned. Alex Zane as well. Like I said, just there's so many great independent wrestlers that are working so goddamn hard to do some great things. And I'm wearing this one, you know, it's Your Anxiety is Lying. It's Ravenous Randy Myers, the Weirdo Hero. He's great in the ring as well. Shaft, Artemis Spencer, so many others. And just a lot of great stuff that I can't go into right here. But guys, support your local independent wrestling. That's how I'm going to start this one off positively. So now we're going to get to 24. Lance Archer winning the IWGP US Championship. After Jon Moxley was unable to get to Japan due to travel issues because of the typhoon, they stripped him of the championship and he defended it against Juice Robinson. Or Juice Robinson and Lance Archer rather, competed for the vacant championship, and Lance Archer won. And it was great to see. Because Lance Archer really did well this year after Davey Boy Smith Jr. left. And especially in the G1, even though he only won a few matches, he rose up and got over with the fans, and they were happy to see it. I'm happy to see it. I'm really happy that he got the U.S. Championship. Even though he's probably only going to have a run until Wrestle Kingdom, he is really, really good. I'm really happy to see how successful he is. Especially the fact he's 42, and he seems to be better than he ever was. And it's just really great to see. He's had a long career, and it's just nice to see him succeed. Now we get to number 23, Bayley's heel turn. This one's ranked a little bit lower because I feel they kind of stumbled with its sense, but it was great to see her turn on Becky. No, not like that. I run a clean show. Don't. And beat the shit out of Becky, and then eventually attack the Tube Men. Sometime down the line after that, and you get the speak to the manager haircut and stuff like that. And she's a champion, and she's doing some good stuff. Now, I'm not ranking it that high because she's almost like Raven, a discount Raven, where it's like, what about me? What about Bayley? But I think Bayley can make this work. They just need to stop giving her such shit material. Because Bayley can make this turn work pretty well. Because otherwise, you know what they're going to end up doing? They're going to end up botching it, and it's going to affect her badly. And that's really a shame because I think she's doing her best with this. But it was shocking. It was good. But it was also expected. That's why it's ranked a little bit low here. Number 22, Tanahashi winning the IWGP Heavyweight Championship at Wrestle Kingdom 13. He beat Kenny Omega, ending one of the worst IWGP Heavyweight Championship runs of a length of time, in my personal opinion. Sure, Tana only held it for 5 weeks before dropping it to Jay White, but it was what it was. It was a cool moment. It was great to see. And was what it was. So, we get to number 21. Johnny Gargano winning the NXT Championship in a 2 out of 3 falls match against Adam Cole, baby, at TakeOver New York. Great. It was great stuff. It was really well done. It was a great match. It was the peak of their feud because I don't think TakeOver 25 necessarily was, though this was a very, very good match. I really did enjoy this 3 stages of hell, whatever match it was. It was very, very well done. Actually, the 2 out of 3 falls thing. The 3 stages of the hell match was fine, but it went on a little bit too long. But this was a very, very well done, very scientifically done match. The Undisputed Era, unable to stop Johnny Gargano, was a great call at the end, and Gargano winning. It summed up his career in NXT so far, and at least he got to have that moment of having the championship for about 2.5 months. And then we get to number 20. Awesome Kong shows up at AEW's Double or Nothing. Brandy, in one of the few decent promos that she said at all, I'm not going to turn this into an angry thing. It says, I don't want a match that's great. I want a match that is awesome. And the fact that the crowd reacted the way they did, they played the music or whatever, and it's like, the music started, this is Kong, and then shows her grabbing, the crowd went nuts. I went nuts. I was just like, the instant she said, I want a match that is awesome, I go, oh, holy shit, they got Awesome Kong. And then she shows up. That was cool. Now, she didn't necessarily have the best run in the match. I think her and Nyla Rose would be money, but they kind of botched that thing up. But her debuting, that initial pop is one of my favorite moments. It just really is. Now, number 19, bit of a selfish one. Seeing Ultimo Dragon wrestle live at Defy Northwest. I got to see Ultimo Dragon wrestle live in 2019. Bucket list. That's on my bucket list. That was on my checklist and it got checked off. And he got to wrestle Matt Cross. And they've wrestled all over the world in a lot of promotions. And Matt Cross is incredible in the ring. A nice guy. Very nice guy. Got to meet him multiple times this year. Even got to see him. He was actually backstage. Well, he was actually pseudo backstage, like after the Super J Cup, and actually got to shake his hand, which was really, really cool. He just got to view that, and it's just, Matt Cross is awesome. But Ultimo Dragon, one of my favorite cruiserweight, light heavyweight wrestlers in the 90s. Getting to see him wrestle, and getting to see, and just throwing a little mention here, getting to see Super Crazy and Tajiri compete was absolutely great. I mean, and Super Crazy, nice guy. Got to meet him multiple times. Really, really nice guy. Awesome. He's a great guy. And still super skilled. Can hit that triple jump moonsault like it's nothing. And seeing Ultimo Dragon wrestle was just a revelation. No, he did not do the Asai moonsault. He is, well, I mean, at least outside. But he is in his early 50s. But nice guy. Got to get a shirt from him. Got to get an autograph. It was really cool. I'm not sure how good his English was necessarily, but he did have a translator with him. And I got to say it's an honor to meet you and everything. Got to take a picture with him, and he was very gracious. But it's just really cool to see him. Anyway, and then we go to number 18, seeing Jushin Thunder Liger wrestle live at the Super J Cup in the opening match. One of the men that got me into New Japan, him, Great Muta, and later Masahiro Chono. I got to see more of the, the tough style of that. Getting to see Jushin Thunder Liger wrestle, it was worth the nearly 3-hour drive to go to Tacoma, which, if you know anything about Washington geography, Tacoma should maybe take an hour, 30 minutes tops to get there if you run into a little bit of traffic, because it's about 75 miles away from me. It took 3 hours, basically. But guess what? It was worth it. It was fucking worth it. And honestly, getting to see Jushin Thunder Liger, I went nuts. I was almost emotional. Because seeing one of my heroes in person, I was like 20 feet away from him. It was awesome. I didn't get to be front row. I got to be second row. And boy, we were sandwiched in those seats. But my God, seeing Liger wrestle was just, it was so great. It was so fucking great. I'm not ready for his retirement, folks. I know it's happening in a few weeks as we record this video at least. I'm not ready. I'm glad he's retiring when he wants to, but I'm not fucking ready. But I'm glad I was able to see him once in the ring before he retired. And then we get to number 17. Walter ends Pete Dunne's NXT UK title reign takeover in New York. I thought the match went on a few minutes too long, but it was very good. It was a very, very good match and very well done. Walter had to throw everything at Pete Dunne and fucking held those chops. I've seen Walter live. I saw him last year live. Those chops in person, TV doesn't do justice for just how loud they are. It sounds literally like somebody's chest is being caved in. And he's got those friggin' just those super-sized hands, those like, frying pan-like hands. But yeah, him ending Pete Dunne's title reign was really impressive. It was like 685 days. You could argue whether it was too long or not, but the match or the title reign. But I thought perfect way to do it. Walter was the perfect guy to do it. Number 16, the Prince returns, aka Balor's heel turn on NXT TV, October 23rd of 2019. Shout out to cat_woman13. Check out Abby Normal Wrestling Thoughts on YouTube. I'll put the title in the description because she just recently started a YouTube channel. She's an awesome wrestling fan, but I know she popped big for Balor turning heel. She likes Balor, as do a lot of people, and Balor is great. And seeing him, when he said the week before, my future is my past. Oh boy, the Prince is coming back, and it felt stupid for not picking up on that. But they got me. They did get me, and it was great. He takes off his jacket. He's standing there with Gargano and Ciampa. Takes off his jacket. Just as he's taking off his jacket, friggin' Pele kick knocks Gargano out. And then Undisputed Era attacks Ciampa and everything, and Balor's just standing there. And it was great to see. It's just great to see them finally doing something with Balor where it looks like he's having fun. Number 15, the Iconics winning the Women's Tag Team Championships at WrestleMania 35. Emotional. I loved it. I wish I had recorded my reaction. It was fantastic to fucking see. It's just a shame they didn't do anything with them afterwards, but it was great. And you could tell how much it meant to Peyton and Billy. You could tell how much it meant to them. And it was fucking great to see. They got to live their dream. They got to have a big moment at WrestleMania. The company just didn't capitalize on it, which is bullshit, but it was great to see those hardworking women happy. And then we get to number 14, the rise of Rhea Ripley. One, you could have taken Rhea Ripley as she was in the first Mae Young Classic and made her marketable. But holy fuck, did she have a transformation, and my god, is it wonderful, and it is scary, and she is both scary and impressive and alluring at the same goddamn time. She's only 22, 23. I think she's 23. Regardless, she's damn good in the ring. She's had an impressive last few months. She may win the NXT Championship against Shayna Baszler on the 18th. If you're watching this in the future after that and she didn't, well, sorry, I wasn't able to see into the future. No, Derb, stop saying the line from DBZ Abridged. I know you're saying it if you're watching this. But just the rise of Rhea Ripley this year from being the NXT UK Women's Champion, losing to Toni Storm, having her run on NXT UK, coming over to regular NXT, which I feel bad for saying, but US NXT, or NXT OG, I'm just going to stop with this stuff. Seeing her just take out everybody and just be so damn impressive, but also able to sell. Somebody that dominant, that's, that big, compared to the other women, being a babyface and selling, she has everything down from body language to ability to everything. She has the promos down. Complete package, provided that no serious injuries happen to her. Knock on wood. I don't have wood here. Gross. She is going to be a mega star for like 10 years, at least. She could be a mega star longer, depending on how long she wants to stick with this. Number 13, Dakota Kai's heel turn at War Games. I like this better than the Bayley heel turn just because I knew it was coming, like right when Mia Yim got attacked. I was like, okay, pretty obvious Dakota did it. Dakota's made part of the team. Okay, Dakota's going to help the team win and then screw them and then, beat up Rhea after the match, something like that. Or on the next NXT TV. I didn't think they were going to fucking do it before they even got in the match. I thought maybe they might even do it in the match. Nope. Dakota gets out there and everything, and I think it's only Shayna left in the cage. And Tegan's left there, and Dakota just runs gets a dead run, just boom, just a friggin' just jets right there, kicks Tegan, beats the shit out of her, rails that chair against, or not chair, but the door against her knee, just slams it into her and everything, and Dakota shoving Regal. I mean, and that right there got probably one of the biggest boos. It was great to see. Now we'll see in the future how this pulls off, but so far Dakota Kai I think is pulling this off just fine. Tegan not turning heel, I think, was the right call, because I think Tegan being the babyface is better. Dakota feeling like she was forgotten about, and that Tegan was the one that was focused on, and that Dakota's tired of feeling like she's, not good enough, that can be motivation. And provided that she's actually allowed to be a good heel, not just be mopey, it can work pretty well. Number 12, the Great Muta showing up at MSG for G1 Supercard, because I thought Muta retired, and then suddenly the Honor Battle Royal, or the Honor Rumble, there, and everybody's in and everything, and then suddenly music for number 30 hit, even though the 31 guys in the ring. Don't ask, I'll go over that. That's probably going to be on my favorite matches of the year list, because it just has so many cool moments. Even though Battle Royals are hard to pull off. But the music hits, and sure, it was dubbed over because of copyrights, but the instant they show Great Muta on the graphic, I absolutely lost it, because I thought Muta was retired. So at MSG, evidently, because they popped huge for him, they were chanting Muta, they were chanting holy shit. They were back to chanting Muta. We got to see a couple moves. Sure, Muta's knees are fucking done, because I think he had to have knee replacements in both legs, I believe. But because he did so many goddamn moves and moonsaults and everything and all that stuff and beat his body up for years. But it was just such a great moment to see Great Muta in MSG. And I don't know if he's going to wrestle in 2020, but by God, that was impressive. That was just great to see. So maybe selfish, but hey, we're going to see some more New Japan stuff, because we get to see Kishin Liger attacking Minoru Suzuki. Minoru Suzuki and Jushin Thunder Liger had been having their verbal spat and physical altercations, and Liger was upset that Minoru Suzuki kept trying to take his mask off, and eventually did take his mask off, and Liger was covered in towels and t-shirts and this kind of stuff, but still cutting a promo. And I don't know why that amused me, but just watching Liger covered in everything, cutting this promo was just great. And he, was saying he was going to get Suzuki and this kind of stuff. Well, then they had this match, and I don't remember what it was. It was Liger, it was some kind of tag match, but it was Liger and some people, and they attacked Minoru Suzuki and a couple others in their entrance, and then it was just a brawl and everything, and then eventually the match started, and I think Liger just fucking legged it, or kicked didn't kick his leg out of his leg, because he's not Owen Hart. God, I miss Owen Hart. But kicked Suzuki right in the groin, caused a DQ. But then, because Suzuki had taken the mask off recently, on another show, during, I believe, the Destruction Tour, if I recall correctly, and Liger just takes off the stuff and everything, and if you don't know what Kishin Liger is, it's like the dark alter ego of Jushin Thunder Liger. He's only brought out against, I want to say Muta, and I don't remember who else he brought out against. I'm sorry, man. I'm drawing a blank on my New Japan knowledge. I know he brought it up against Muta, and when he showed up, it's just like, okay, great. I was like, this is the only time you're gonna hear me say this, like, Suzuki, run, do not stop running, because this is the unhinged Liger. And he gets out a freaking spike, has a table in the corner, gets out a spike, puts Suzuki against the table, and runs at him and tries to stab him. He tried to commit murder in Japan. Unfortunately, that's the only time we got to see Kishin Liger, which I was disappointed by. I was hoping we were going to get to see that again at King of Pro Wrestling, but we got to see Battle Liger, which was fine. Liger in remarkable shape for, being in his almost mid-50s. But just seeing Kishin Liger appear, I'm just like, oh shit. Oh, I was like, he's unmasked, he's a man, oh shit. Everybody's gonna die. Everybody run. Just everybody get out of there. Run, and maybe Kishin won't kill you. By mispronouncing Kishin Liger, I'm sorry. I have a problem with some inflections with, other languages and other wrestlers. But we get to number 10, Jon Moxley debuting first at Double or Nothing, AEW's Double or Nothing, and then debuting in New Japan soon after, and beating Juice Robinson at the Best of Super Juniors Finals, that show for the U.S. title. And then his stuff that he had with Shota Umino, where he was going to be his young lion. It's going to become Shooter. And so fucking great. We need a buddy cop drama, or buddy cop comedy between Moxley and Shooter. But Moxley just looking so motivated at AEW's Double or Nothing, just showing up to the crowd, like coming through the crowd and everything. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it, but coming through the crowd, and the crowd starting to, bubble and everything and cheer as more people are seeing him and everything. And he attacks Jericho. Attacks Jericho, attacks the referee, attacks Kenny Omega, dumps him off the poker chips at the stage, and that was pretty cool. And Moxley looking just super motivated there. And then his time in New Japan was great too. And he's gonna be at Wrestle Kingdom. really, he's had a career renaissance. I'm not saying that his career in WWE was all that bad. I'm not trying to say that. He clearly was unhappy with what he was doing for a number of months, and that makes sense. He wasn't going to draw in WWE. He was only going to earn the money. He wasn't going to be happy. So now he's somewhere else where he's going to be happy, and that's great. So I'm not going to dump on his WWE run. I could do a whole video about that some other day. We then get to number 9, Okada winning the IWGP Championship at G1 Supercard. We knew it was going to happen because Jay White's run wasn't all that great. I talked about that in my worst moments of the year list. That it wasn't all that great, but Okada winning in a very competitive match, very, very competitive match. And Jay White looked like he belonged against Okada. Now, he had just beaten Okada at Wrestle Kingdom just a few months before. But in a title match with the stakes never being higher, Okada got the victory. And cut a really good promo afterwards. They had to cut it off and actually just have live crowds, the live crowds shoot it, which was actually great. And Okada's been working on his English because he actually cut a pretty good promo in English as well. And he was, now he's even better. He can communicate in Japanese and English, and holy crap, he is the perfect wrestler. Okada is my favorite wrestler of the year, by the way. If you have not watched my favorite men's wrestlers of 2019 list, sorry, I spoiled it, but Okada. It's Okada. It's got to be Okada. But that's fine if other people disagree. Okada winning, though, was great. And then we get to number 8, the women main eventing WrestleMania 35. However you feel about Ronda Rousey and her denying Sandy Hook happened and her wanting to cut off her hair and wash Sasha's feet with it, that deserves an honorable mention because holy crap, that was so fucking bonkers. What does she expect me to do? Cut off my hair and wash her feet with it. The fucking hell, Ronda. The fucking hell. Not what the fucking hell, but the fucking hell. Just, boy. That aside, though, Becky and the whole build, and that was kind of weird and everything, and Charlotte being shoehorned in there, for Charlotte must be in the main event. According to the company, that is. The women main eventing WrestleMania 35 was a big deal. Now, however you felt about the match and thought the match was all that good or all that bad or whatever, and yes, the bit of a botch finish, that kind of stuff, okay. Botches are going to happen. The women got to main event WrestleMania 35. Whether you thought it should have been other women or not is an arguable point. It was fucking tremendous to see. Because the women deserved it. For years, they had deserved to be up on the card of Mania. And finally getting to see the women main event WrestleMania after so long. And I bet you Vince was doing that kicking and screaming. But it was still great. And it was still awesome to see. Now, number 7, the debut of AEW Dynamite on TNT, because I never thought I'd live long enough to see wrestling back on Turner. I never thought I'd see it again. And Tony Schiavone calling it. Well, doing stuff. Tony Schiavone, by the way, is a goddamn revelation on commentary. Again, because he had done stuff with MLW, but hadn't really kept up on a lot of wrestling. But just the comments that he comes up with, like Excalibur saying, an Escalada or whatever. And I think it was like a variation of a dive or a twist. And Tony Schiavone just saying, oh, I love those Escaladas. I don't know why that's funny. But just AEW Dynamite, the big deal, the hot crowd and everything. Sure, this show has cooled down a little bit, as is going to happen with any wrestling promotion at this point in the year. Because late November and into December, the TV is usually a little But it's a big goddamn deal, and it deserves a shout on here for being such a big monumental moment. Whether AEW survives on TNT past a year, or even makes it a year, or survives 10 years, who the fuck knows? But it's a big deal to see another wrestling company on a major television network. Now we move on to number 6, the year of Will Ospreay. It's hard to summarize everything with Will Ospreay, from being never openweight champion at Wrestle Kingdom, beating Kota Ibushi, losing it to Jeff Cobb, winning Best of Super Juniors, defeating Shingo, giving Shingo his first pinfall loss in New Japan since Shingo got there. Beating Dragon Lee soon afterwards. Running through a lot of people, having a good showing at the G1, even though he didn't win the thing. Didn't even come close. He had those moments. Now he's going to be challenged by Hiromu. His match against Amazing Red at Super J Cup in Tacoma. I saw it live, and I will forever be grateful that I drove 3 hours, or that I waited in traffic for half of those 3 hours to get there and watch that. Fucking worth it. Watch New Japan. If you get a chance to watch New Japan, because they got New Japan of America coming along. Look at NJPW of America. Look at their tours. See what they're going to have. I want to see New Japan succeed, and hopefully you guys will give it a chance. But just Will Ospreay's had an incredible year. He has. And no, usually the flippy shit style, that kind of thing, high-flying video game-esque wrestling isn't for me. I can't argue with how great Will Ospreay is. I can't. I could say that on Twitter he's a fucking idiot, even though he offers some good stuff, and I do follow the guy. There are times that he makes things that are questionable, but anybody would do that. But in the ring, it's one of the best. He is. I mean, he's had an incredible year. Number 5, Shibata attacking Kenta at the G1 Climax 29 Finals. So, set the scene, Kenta's teaming up with Tomohiro Ishii and Yoshihashi against Guerrillas of Destiny and Fale? Or is it Jado? Anyway, the whole point is Kenta ends up attacking Tomohiro Ishii and attacks Yoshihashi and is all this. Now, the backstory here is Shibata brought in Kenta to New Japan at Dominion in Osaka and brought him in and was like, okay, hey, we're gonna do this. He's gonna be in the G1. And his time in the G1 didn't work out all that well, mainly because Kenta didn't look like he could be bothered to give a damn, though he had some good moments. This was a great moment. I'm not as high on Kenta in New Japan as other people are, and then there are other people that are even way lower on him and practically hate him in New Japan. This was a great moment, though, because Shibata, who had to retire after Sakura Genesis 2017, I believe that was the event, when he lost to Okada, they had bleeding on the brain, among other things. He was training people at the LA Dojo, New Japan LA Dojo. And he had been in Kenta's corner a few times and this kind of stuff. Was even in Tanahashi's corner last year when Tanahashi won the G1, which was a great moment. And Shibata carrying Tanahashi on his shoulders. Shibata probably wishing it could have been him wrestling. It should have been me. No, not Dolph. But Shibata attacking Kenta and getting in these moves and just having that delayed drop kick in the corner and just that look he had on his face like he wanted to destroy Kenta. It was great to see. We're not going to get Shibata versus Kenta at Wrestle Kingdom, which I'm both disappointed by and both thankful for. I think Shibata's very upset. Now, he may be cleared in 2020. It's hard to tell, but it was a great moment. And if you notice, though, everybody was careful not to hit him in the head. Because, again, bleeding on the brain, but by God, this was a great moment. Seeing Shibata back in the ring, even briefly, even in just a segment, was wonderful. And then we get number 4. Well, it goes back to AEW's Double or Nothing. You don't get to retire, Cody saying to Dustin. It's like when, he signed a contract and everything for a tag match at Fight for the Fallen. And against the Young Bucks, what he believes is the best tag team in the world. I'm not going to try to say the promo verbatim, but he says, I don't need a partner. I don't need a friend. I need my older brother. If that didn't pull out your heartstrings and start plucking at him, now hearing Cody say it, hearing me say it, I can't do it justice. That was just like, oh boy, the emotion, all the emotion in the goddamn world. It was great. It was great to see. Now, you could argue whatever you want. That Cody is in AEW to prop himself up and this kind of stuff and make himself the main eventer he feels he is. You can feel that however you want. Because there are people I've seen that have said that. I liked a lot of stuff that Cody's done. This is probably the peak of what he did, at least for a while, for a number of months. But Cody has done a lot of great shit in AEW. He's elevated some people. This stuff with Dustin was great. Dustin was also bleeding like crazy, so I hope that he got taken care of from that because fucking hell, he was bleeding a lot. This was easily the most emotional moment, except the next 3. The next 3 are pretty emotional, and I'm going to try to not tear up, especially when it comes to one of them. But number 3, WWE announces that Roman Reigns is coming back, to offer an update about his leukemia. His leukemia, by the way, that was not a fucking work, and any of you fucking idiots that are watching my channel that think that it's a work, you let yourself be known if you think if you think like any of the people that he faked his leukemia or WWE faked his leukemia, get the fuck off my channel or I'm going to ban you. Especially if you're any of the JD fans because, he spoke out like that. Or if you're any of the Meltzer fans, because Meltzer questioned his loyalty. Or not his loyalty, but his legitimacy of his leukemia. Not questioning loyalty. That's Corey Graves that questions, loyalty. But anyway, back to Roman Reigns. He shows up. Now, mind you, the thing that shocked me is like last year, Roman Reigns saying, "My name is Joanna Hawaii, and I've been living with leukemia for 11 years." And just the air, it was like a friggin' balloon. Like the air just got let out of the balloon. There's one idiot saying what because he was probably drunk and should have been slapped. But we didn't know when Roman was going to come back. We didn't know if Roman was going to come back. I figured maybe he's going to come back and he's going to announce that, hey, I have to retire. Because leukemia is no joke. Being it once is difficult. Being it twice is even more difficult. The human body can only take so much stuff. Depending, no matter what form you have, treatable via not via chemo or whatever. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm not going to try to get into it. There's a lot of variations of leukemia. But he offers it and says, thanks everybody and everything, and says, let's get to the update. I'm in remission, y'all. That didn't get you. Hearing that, being happy for him, I don't know what will. It was great, though. Booking aside, since then, it's been weird, but Reigns being able to come back and do what he loves. Are you a fan of Roman Reigns, wrestler or not? It was just great to see. Number 2, Kofi Kingston winning the WWE title at WrestleMania 35. This was number 1 until recently. And I think you know what number 1 is. But Kofi Kingston being able to be WWE champion that moment, and I mean, a lot of open air stadiums don't retain the noise. He hits that Trouble in Paradise 1, 2, 3, and just the fact that the rise of the crowd noise, and it didn't leave. Everybody was celebrating. Kofi got to celebrate with his kids. That was Byron Saxton's best call on commentary. People can knock Byron Saxton all they want, but he was emotional about it. I can imagine as an African American seeing an African American be WWE champion. It was just great to see, and people can say, "Oh, should have been Mustafa or would have been Mustafa Ali." I'm not going to get into that. I don't think it would have been Ali, but Kofi winning it was great. Now, whether you feel Kofi deserved it or not, hey, he took the ball, he ran with it, and he got over. More over than he had been recently. Even though New Day was great. And still is. Even though Xavier's injured, and hopefully Xavier comes back. But watching Kofi win, if that should have actually... To be honest, if it hadn't been for the women needing the main event, for the first time, that Bryan versus Kofi probably should have been it. Because that was a big moment. It was also perfect, and it was placed like middle of the card because WrestleMania is about 8,000 years long. But just Kofi winning it to celebrate with New Day, celebrate with his family, you could see how much it meant to him, and it was great stuff. Shame that the title reign was kind of like this, but it was what it was. It was great to see Kofi win. But number 1, Hiromu Takahashi's return at Power Struggle. You guys can say I'm being biased. Go ahead. I've had people say that, but not knowing if Hiromu Takahashi was going to get to return from injury was alarming because he suffered a neck injury against Dragon Lee at the G1 special at the Cow Palace last year. We didn't know what happened. We knew he was going to be out a while, but we thought, okay, he'll be out till Best of Super Juniors this year. Best of Super Juniors comes and goes. He's not there. He'll come back at Dominion Osaka. Dominion Osaka passes by him. He'll come back at the G1 finals. He didn't come back. And he didn't provide a bunch of... he does art stuff and everything. And, of course, he has the 2 Daryls. I don't remember what the pink Daryl's name is. But I need to get my own... The plushie toys, by the way, for those of you who don't know. He's the guy with the cat plushies. I actually need to get one of those at some point. Even though I kind of already have one. I have my own cat plushie. So, Hiromu, though, we're not sure if he's going to return. A lot of fans aren't. I was getting sad about it, like, oh crap, he got... I want him to be healthy and everything, but I know he wants to wrestle. Will Ospreay beats Bushi, cuts his promo and everything. Who's left? Crowd's chanting Hiromu. He's like, he's not here. And until a worthy challenger comes up, I will remain your IWGP Heavyweight Champion. Or Junior Heavyweight Champion. He'll be IWGP Heavyweight Champion at some point. But anyway, goes to leave. And suddenly they have graphics and everything. They show this stuff, the time bomb, the fuse winding down. And they show like 1,487 hours and this kind of stuff. And they show all this stuff. And they go 62 days. They did the math. 62 days is January 4th. They show the Daryls lighting the bomb. And suddenly they do a countdown. And I'm trying not to get emotional about it because I was legit in tears when I saw him finally come back. Which I know sounds funny, but it meant a lot to me because I knew it's what he wanted to do and I got invested in the character. But counts down to 1, and they show Hiromu Takahashi's graphic. Oh, okay. They're announcing he's going to come back. He shows up. Listen to English and listen to Japanese commentary. Kevin Kelly goes nuts. Everybody goes nuts. He pulls off the neck brace, throws it. He runs to the ring and does that, where he gets down and he does the whole tongue thing. The meme thing going on. I'm not going to try to do it. He hands one Daryl, the pink Daryl, to Milano Collection AT on commentary. Milano was in tears. Japanese commentary was in tears. Everybody was in tears. Everybody was emotional about it. He hands Daryl to Kevin Kelly, and then he does a bump into the goddamn guardrail, and he's... I need to brush up on my Japanese, but Chris Charlton basically translated, this is it, and he's this is what I wanted to do for so long, and he basically challenges Will Ospreay for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship at Wrestle Kingdom. We're going to see his in-ring return on the Road to Tokyo Dome shows in just over a week, which I am very excited for. But really, to me, Hiromu Takahashi's return to the ring, it's the best moment of the year. Now, I will hear what people have to say, but to me, nothing beats it. Kofi's title win comes close. But that's my take. Anyway, agree, disagree with what I said? Like, share, subscribe. Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritland. I'll see you soon.